Today's show is all about feeling deserving. We've heard this so often, haven't we, that you have to feel worthy in order to be successful? Well, I have some surprising news for you, and I can't wait to dive into this topic because it's something that I've personally grappled with myself, but it hasn't stopped me from building two businesses to the $1 million level, each in under 2 years, respectively. So let's talk about feeling deserving. We had somebody write into the show and they said, I don't feel like I can be successful in my business because I don't feel deserving. I need your help to feel more deserving, and I know feeling worthy is the only thing standing in my way. So I would love to share a few ideas with you. First, I'm going to tell you specifically the exact phrase I used to get over this, because it's insidious. I don't know where I got this idea from of not feeling worthy or not feeling deserving, but I had it as well. And in fact, I would even say I probably still have it, because the thing is, really, let's really think about it. I don't know if I got it from some kind of religious background or from, being raised in a generation that was kind of more, hippie and all world together, come together, hold hands. You remember those commercials. So I don't know where it came from. But even now, if I think about it, there's a piece of me that's like, well, how can you feel deserving? Because there's this idea that it's like, uh, there's so many people who don't have it, and how can you feel like I have, they don't? Like, it's messy, it's so messy, and there's so much to untangle. And so I spent all these years and all this energy and all this time going, oh, I gotta dig into my childhood, and I gotta figure out where this deserve thing comes from, and I've got to raise my deserve level, and just, you could go on and on. It's a big pit that you can fall into that you never crawl out of if you start going down that path. And after many years of that, I finally went one day, you know what? What if I don't have to fix this? What if I can just be successful? Why is it that we live in this fix-it world? We do, right? That tells us, like, you have to fix this thing or that thing or that thing before you can be successful. I have to have my deserve level up. I can't be a procrastinator. I've got to be organized. I've got to be techie. I've got to, have that perfect hair and the perfect nails and all those things. I can't be successful unless I know how to dress myself, right? So that I look good, right? We've got all these ideas about what success is. And we're such a fix-it culture. We sit and we try to hammer in this piece and hammer in that piece so that we can just become in this perfect mold of, this is what success looks like. This is what perfection looks like. And one day I just went, forget that. I'm not playing that game. I'm just not going to play that game. Success comes in all types of shapes and packages and forms, and it has nothing to do with being organized or not being a procrastinator or all of the things that we're told that you have to do. And deserving is on that list. You can be wildly successful and not ever feel more deserving. And I am proof of that. Here's the little trick I used. Now, you all might remember that we have inside of our brain a reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system is the part of the brain that's the little matchmaker. It's standing at attention, listening to what we're thinking about, listening to what we're talking about. And so when you have this story of not being deserving, the story that we're telling ourselves is, I don't feel deserving, and so I won't be successful. I need to feel more deserving before I can feel successful. So your brain, your RAS, your reticular activating system says, got it. I'm going to match that up for you. Can't be successful yet. Got to feel more deserving, right? So this is how you shift that story so easily. There is a power word in the English language, and the power word is but. The word but negates everything that comes before it and your brain only hears what comes after it. So if you want to learn more about brain training and how the brain works to support your success, you can go to danawilde.com/60second 60SW. Actually, just look for the link in the description. It'll be easier. The 60-second workshop will tell you everything. But the idea is when you say the word but, your brain doesn't hear anything that comes before it. Have you ever had anybody say, I love you, but da 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 da? Well, your brain didn't hear the I love you. And in fact, we're conditioned now when we hear but, we expect the other shoe to drop. So somebody will say, oh, you're doing such a great job, but, and you just know like, okay, what is it? Dun, 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 right? So when you say it to yourself, and we use it the wrong way most of the time, don't we? We do, when you'll see what I mean exactly. So when you say it to yourself, put the but in the right spot. So it would sound like, I still don't feel deserving, but the money's flowing anyway. I still don't feel deserving, but I'm willing to step up. But I'm willing to be a success, but I'm allowing myself to be a success, but I'm successful anyway, but clients are still finding me, but my business is still growing, but the money is still flowing in. The only thing your brain hears is what comes after the but. Feel the difference in that. When you say, I still don't feel deserving, but the money's still flowing in. Just feel the impact of that compared to the money's flowing in, but I don't feel deserving. It just matters where you place that but, right? It makes it such a huge difference, and it makes a huge difference in your brain. So that's my little trick. I still use it today. Maybe one day I'll get over it and I'll start to feel like I am so worthy, maybe, but I don't care. I don't care if I ever do, because I don't need to. I don't need to fix myself. I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to hammer out every little problem that I've got in my life in order to be successful, and neither do you. Now, having said all of that, I want to share an analogy with you that I thought was really good. And some of you have maybe heard Abraham Hicks talk about the analogy of tuning to a frequency like a radio dial. And maybe they're not the only ones that do it. That seems like a pretty common one, but I think that's where I first heard it. So if you think about your brain like a tuner, like you're thinking certain things, and the things you're thinking about, that reticular activating system is matching up, but it's matching it up based on kind of where you're tuning your story, where you're tuning your vibration. So when I started thinking about this concept of a tuner, and specifically the radio, I thought, when you tune a radio and you tune in heavy metal music, you don't say, oh, and no offense to those of you that love heavy metal, but you don't say, oh, I got heavy metal music. I must not be deserving enough to get a music station that I like. Like, we don't think that way, do we? Why is it that we use it, that deserving thing, for success, for abundance, for all of the goodness that comes to our life, but we don't think of it like, oh, I tuned to this station, this thing that I don't like, I must not be deserving. It's not like that. It's like, guess what? Just tune to a different station. Move that dial. Has nothing to do with you being deserving. You want to hear the music you like? Tune it to a different station. Tune that dial to a different station. And that's what we're doing with brain training. We are tuning our dial to a different station. Telling that story, I'm not deserving, I'm not deserving, I'm not deserving. We don't want to be on that station. We want to tune our dial to a different station. We want to move it to somewhere else. Move it to the station of, I feel good. I'm learning how to train my brain. I'm learning how to focus my thoughts. I can tell when a thought feels good and when a thought feels bad. I can tell when I'm moving forward. I like building my business the fun, light, and easy way. It feels good to build my business with joy. I like feeling better. It feels good to think good thoughts. I like noticing when I think good thoughts, how I feel in in my body. And I love the idea that I can tune to a different story at any given time. And I know when I'm tuned to a good story because I feel good. I love that it's that easy. I love that I can follow my joy and follow my feel good and have better results because I'm doing it with more emotional momentum and more enthusiasm, and I'm feeling better. So I'm showing up in the world in a better way. And it feels so good to be able to sit down and do things that I love to do and engage with people and show up as my best self and have people be attracted to my business because I'm showing up as my joyful self. And I especially love that I don't have to hammer out every single little problem that I've got in order to be successful. I can just be my imperfect self and go out in the world and make an impact and have fun and quit focusing on these trivial little things and instead step into the world in a bigger way. I love being my best self. I love impacting the world. I love spreading my message. I love spreading my joy. I love having fun. It feels so good to be a brain trainer. I love that it's this easy. I love that I can think thoughts just like this for 60 seconds, and here I am feeling better, moving forward, having fun. And yes, it is that easy. And that is where success comes from. So this story about whatever your story is, deserving, procrastination, techie, blah, 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 blah. Just think of it as yawn, yawn, the boring story that it is, and your story to something that feels more joyful and more fun and more productive. To fix yourself, be successful. You already have everything you need now, right now, this second, to be as successful as you want to be. You have totally got this.